In December 2016, hundreds of elite high school students from around the world gathered in Hong Kong for one of the most prestigious academic competitions on Earth, the International Mathematical Olympiad, an event where raw intelligence is tested under intense global scrutiny. And among the brightest minds in that room was a team from one of the most secretive and isolated countries in existence, North Korea. 6 young men stepped forward in identical white shirts and black trousers, loyalty badges of the Kim family pinned over their hearts, projecting discipline, unity, and control while hiding something far more fragile beneath the surface. Among them stood Jong Yul Ri, visibly more tense than his teammates, his eyes drifting away from the equations in front of him. Not because he doubted his mathematical ability, but because he was weighing a decision that could cost him his freedom, his family, and possibly his life. Jong's story begins in a small North Korean town where opportunity is not shaped by talent alone, but by family history, political loyalty, and generational trust, a system where futures are often decided long before birth. Jong was considered fortunate, born into a relatively privileged household, with family ties that protected him from the harshest realities most citizens endure, and this status allowed his father to nurture his academic potential instead of sending him into forced labor or military drills. From an early age, Jong showed an unusual ability with numbers, practicing multiplication tables daily under his father's strict guidance, a discipline that paid off. When at just 12 years old he won a national mathematics prize against students years older, instantly drawing the attention of elite educational officials connected directly to the regime. North Korea's education system is rigid and ideological, blending academics with loyalty training. But Jong's exceptional ability placed him on a rare path reserved only for the most gifted students, a path that came with privileges, surveillance, and unspoken expectations. He was granted access to a laptop loaded with mathematical software, an extraordinary resource in a country with no public internet access and constant power outages, forcing Jong to improvise building his own solar charger and later, relying on a gasoline generator through brutal winters just to continue training. This focus on mathematics was never just about learning, it was about preparing assets, minds that could later be repurposed for the state. His talent eventually earned him selection for North Korea's International Mathematical Olympiad team, where preparation was intense and unforgiving. Long hours of complex problem-solving overseen by top mathematicians, reinforced with constant reminders that success was not personal, it was patriotic duty. Victory brought honor to the nation, failure brought consequences, and this pressure followed Jong on his first trip abroad to Colombia, where he encountered bright city lights, endless traffic, and freedoms he had never imagined. The team finished 5th in the world. Jong earned a silver medal, an incredible achievement by any global standard. Yet the regime was dissatisfied, having expected gold in return for years of investment, and as Jong stood on that stage he began to realize his future had already been decided by others. That reason soon became clear, because North Korea's interest in brilliant mathematicians extends far beyond competitions, reaching deep into the shadowy world of cyber warfare, a domain the regime has quietly developed for decades. Beginning in the 1970s, students were sent abroad to study computing in countries like Russia, China, and East Germany, a program that evolved under Kim Jong into a strategic weapon, shifting from industrial efficiency toward espionage, sabotage, and financial crime. The creation of the Korea Computer Center in the early 1990s marked a turning point, transforming elite academic talent into cyber operators trained to attack foreign governments, corporations, and financial institutions. Under Kim Jong-un, this strategy intensified as international sanctions tightened around North Korea's economy, cutting off traditional revenue streams and forcing the regime to seek alternatives, with cybercrime offering a low-cost, high-reward solution. Through sophisticated hacking operations, North Korea has stolen hundreds of millions of dollars from banks, cryptocurrency exchanges, and global businesses, funding weapons programs while remaining physically untouchable. High-profile attacks like the 2014 Sony Pictures hack and the 2016 Bangladesh bank heist revealed the scale of these operations, introducing the world to the regime's most notorious cyber unit. That unit is known as the Lazarus Group, a state-backed hacking organization that treats the internet as a battlefield, deploying malware, phishing campaigns, and social engineering with military precision. Active since at least 2009, Lazarus has been linked to some of the most damaging cyber attacks in modern history, forcing governments and corporations worldwide to invest heavily in cybersecurity defenses. Intelligence agencies began sharing information, imposing sanctions, and exposing individual operatives, including Park Chin-hok, a North Korean programmer charged by the United States in 2018 for orchestrating major attacks. A man believed to still live safely inside North Korea, beyond the reach of international law. Becoming part of this cyber force often begins in childhood, with nationwide testing identifying students who excel in mathematics and science, funneling them into secretive training programs where hacking, malware development, and network infiltration become daily routines. These recruits live under constant supervision, working long hours in isolated facilities, rewarded with better food and housing while surrendering personal freedom entirely. Loyalty is enforced through privilege, surveillance, and fear, ensuring defection remains rare, dangerous, and heavily punished. For most North Koreans, escape is nearly impossible, guarded borders lined with landmines, electric fences, and shoot-on-sight orders, while those who reach China risk capture and forced return, a fate that often includes torture, labor camps, and punishment extending to family members for generations. Propaganda portrays the outside world as hostile and corrupt, while informant networks ensure fear remains constant, making defection one of the most dangerous decisions a person can make. For Jong, the reality became unavoidable after returning home from the 2015 Olympiad. When he learned that officials from a secret government agency were questioning his friends and relatives, signaling his imminent recruitment into the cyber division, he understood refusal was not an option, and acceptance meant a life of isolation, control, and permanent service to the regime. Knowing he could only compete internationally until age 18, Jong realized the 2016 Olympiad in Hong Kong would be his final opportunity to escape. At the Hong Kong University of Science and Technology, supervision was lighter, trust was higher, and after winning another silver medal, Jong made his move, quietly leaving the dormitory, hailing a taxi, and heading to the airport, where an airline worker helped him locate the South Korean consulate. There Jong declared his intent to defect, spending 70 agonizing days in Hong Kong as negotiations unfolded, uncertain whether he would be granted freedom or sent back. Eventually he was flown safely to Seoul, and in retaliation North Korea suspended its Olympiad program for 2 years, now sending government agents with future teams to prevent similar escapes. Today Jong lives under a South Korean name, having studied mathematics at Seoul National University, carrying freedom alongside the pain of never seeing his parents again. His story exposes how intelligence can become a weapon, how talent can become a trap, and how even the most controlled systems can be broken by a single moment of courage. If this story made you think about power, control, and the cost of freedom, share your thoughts in the comments and join the discussion below. Please like and subscribe for more.